So let's grab our silk and fan it out. And we're going to take our thumbs inside, fingers out, and bring it behind our seat, coming to sit all the way in. You're going to grab that back edge, fanning it out, holding on, bringing one heel in and then the other to bring the legs completely into the silk. And you're going to take the silk behind your head and lay down completely. Arms can be by your side, one on the heart, one on the belly, or overhead, whichever is most comfortable for you. Now let's begin to bring focus to the breath. So I want you to fill up the belly all the way up into the chest, and then exhaling out slowly through the mouth, bringing your belly button to your spine. Again, inhale, filling up from the belly to the chest to the heart, slowly exhaling it all the way out. And do that a few more times. And let's begin to bring our arms overhead and reach with our fingers and reach with our toes in the opposite directions. And then take some side body crescent stretches here, warming up the body. Starting to bring movement in. We're going to grab both sides to the right side, and then we're going to pull our body all the way onto the right. You're going to inhale, expanding the chest, and exhale, tucking everything into a tight ball, moving at your speed and pace and with your breath. Inhales take you all the way open, almost into a back bend, and then the exhales crunch you into the tiniest little ball. So from here, we're going to come back onto our backs, and then we're going to grab the left side, pulling our body all the way onto the left side, and then again, expanding everything out and exhaling everything into a tight little ball. Again, moving at your speed and pace, letting the breath guide you. And we're going to find our way back onto our backs, grabbing the back of that silk, pulling ourselves up, bringing our feet all the way through. So you're now sitting in the silk. You're going to take right arm to left knee, twisting, pressing the left arm up into the silk, opening up that heart. And then we're going to take it over to the other side. So left arm to right knee, pressing that palm into that silk to deepen that twist. So we're going to come back to center, grabbing the front edge of that silk to pull ourselves all the way up to standing. And then we're going to place that silk under our bra line, coming into our chair. So sink the hips low. And then from here, we're going to straighten the legs, engage the core, lengthening the whole body. And you're going to push it through the knees, coming in straight up into a plank, keeping the core engaged in both. So don't let the body drop out or let the belly drop down. Keep everything nice and engaged here. Into that chair, or take our legs a little bit wider. And we're going to start to rock it from side to side to open up the hips a little bit. And then you can bring it into circles if you want to engage that body even more, letting the feet roll onto the toes as they need be. And reverse directions. Moving as fast as you feel comfortable, and then find your way back to center. We're going to slowly lift our bodies up, taking it all the way into a forward fold. From here, you're going to hold on tight and then flip your body all the way over, pulling it up, the right leg out, leaving the left leg in the silk. Bringing that silk underneath that ankle, hands to heart as we swing that leg open wide. Try to keep the hips centered so we get that nice good opening. Good, reach up nice and high as you lift and lengthen. Exhale as you fold over that knee. From here, you're gonna roll up. We're gonna take right arm over left leg, twisting that body nice and open, keeping everything nice and engaged. And then bring it to center. We're gonna turn towards the right side of the room, and then we're gonna grab that pole with our left arm. Right arm's gonna come overhead. We're gonna bend at the elbows and twist that chest nice and open, getting that nice good heart opener here. slowly release. And then we're going to squat behind the knees. So breathe in and then exhale as you squat it down. Moving nice and slow and with the breath. Again, sitting behind that knee, pressing that foot that's in the silk into that silk. On this last one, we're going to bring it down and hold, taking a breath and then bringing it all the way up. Coming back to the center, grabbing both poles, bringing the silk behind the knee. With the foot at a 45 degree, we're going to start to lean forward, coming into that warrior. And then we're going to open it up into warrior two, pressing the front arm into that silk to help get full extension here. And we're going to grab both poles and we're going to drop that right knee to the ground. And then we're going to reach back with our left arm, reaching for that right ankle. If you feel comfortable, you can release the right arm off. And then we're going to lift it all the way back up. Right arm now comes down to that ankle. Again, if you feel comfortable taking the other arm off the silk, grabbing both poles, we're going to bring both legs into the silk. And then from here, we're going to step the left leg to the floor, bringing the silk underneath the right ankle. Bringing hands to heart, we're going to swing that right leg open and close. Again, try to keep the hips centered as you open up that leg. And we're going to reach our arms up, nice deep breath in, exhale as we fold it over, keeping that right leg, foot engaged and flexed. And slowly roll up, and we're going to turn all the way to the left. Right arm is going to come over, grabbing both poles, then left arm as well overhead, bending at the elbows to get that full twist in the upper body, opening up that heart. Good, releasing, and then again from here, hands to heart, we're going to sit behind that knee as we squat up and down. And on this last one, we're going to fold it and hold it down. And then slowly roll it all the way up, coming back to center. Taking that silk under that knee, keeping the foot at a 45-degree angle. We're going to hinge it forward into that lunge. And then again, opening it up into your warrior two. Pressing that front arm into the back of that silk to give you full extension. Coming back to center, we're going to drop that left knee to the floor. Left arm's going to come back, reaching for it. Right can release from the silk if you feel comfortable. And then both arms to the pole. Then we're going to switch, so right arm comes back to that heel and reaching overhead, stretching. Then we're going to grab both poles. We're going to slowly lift both legs in and then come all the way to standing. Good, we're going to take our arms through into a T, arms through again, and then you're going to grab up high on those tippy toes, coming into your full wrist wrap, shoulders away from the ears. Take a nice deep breath in, and then slowly lift the legs up from the ground, bringing them up towards the chest. If this isn't challenging, then don't let the feet touch the ground, hovering them up as you bring them up and down. Now release your arms from the silk and let the silk catch at your elbows, and then hinge over and rest, letting the body be passive here, letting the arms rest in between reps, and just breathe. Slowly roll it all the way up. We're going to take that double wrist wrap again, reaching up nice and high, shoulders away from the ears. Everything rolls down so that you have that nice engagement. This time as you exhale, you're going to jump as you bring your knees into your chest. Again, if this isn't challenging enough, you can always make it to where the feet never touch the ground. On this last, we're going to hold it, 1, 2, bringing it down, releasing the arms, taking that passive fold again. You can flick your fingers, you can roll your wrists, come back to that breath, nice big inhales, through the nose and exhaling out through the mouth. Now let's roll it up and find that double wrist wrap one more time. This time, what we're going to do is as you kick the legs up, you have two options. You can either bring them to each side to get a little side core work, or if you really want to take it up a notch, you're going to kick it all the way up so you're completely upside down. And then you're going to lift the legs up and down, crunching them in here. Again, making sure not to come all the way over, but just staying vertical. And when you're ready to come down, come back through forward, unhinge those arms, and fold it again, taking that nice passive stretch here. So from here, we're going to grab up onto that silk and we're going to flip all the way over. Taking the flip only if you feel like it, otherwise you're right back to where you started and just roll up. We're going to bring that silk underneath the hip points, thumbs and fingers out as we take the legs up and wide into our straddle, our sacrum straddle. Hands to the heart, taking a couple of breaths here. Letting the body invert fully for the first time. You take the hands behind the head, pressing the head into the hands and the hand into the head. And then slowly holding onto the poles, we're going to roll it all the way up. And then we're going to come back down, getting some reverse star crunches here, engaging that core, trying to get the body completely horizontal. Get a nice little core workout. And on the last one, you can try to hold it. And then we're going to come all the way up and come into I'm dizzy. So letting the silk catch underneath your armpits and just surrendering completely to that silk. This is a very passive stretch. If you find yourself dizzy, you can always come to this one. If you're not dizzy, you're always welcome to sway. I'm going to roll our spine all the way up. Again, thumbs and fingers out, taking it to those hip points, rolling it back into our sacrum star. Hands to the heart, feet into sacrum butterfly. And then we're going to tap opposite knees as we start to really work our core here. Again, moving at your speed and pace, moving with your breath. And then taking a break here, walking it forward into our downward facing dog. Wiggle it from side to side if that feels nice. You can stretch it up into your up dog. Kind of just go with what feels good for the body as we stretch in between these core reps. And coming back down, we're going to take the legs all the way up the silk, holding onto the arches with the feet, hand behind the head, and we're going to crunch it up, lifting that chest as high as you can. Again, resting in between reps in our down dog and our up dog, taking whatever stretches feel good here. I'm going to come back, hands to heart, bringing those legs all the way back up, letting the silk catch in the arches. This time we're going to reach for the ankles on our exhale. So strong inhales, and as you exhale, reach up towards those ankles. Nice big crunches up here. Now on your last one, you're going to hold it at the ankles, bringing the legs all the way through. You're going to reach up as high as you can, and then pressing with your legs, you're going to lift all the way up into a straddle. Good, and from here, we're going to take our left arm outside the body, grabbing the right silk and then rolling it down, letting that right knee catch into that silk. And then we're going to find our way back into our sacrum butterfly. We're going to bring those legs all the way back up the silk, letting them catch in the arches of the feet. Nice big exhales as we crunch all the way up to those ankles. Now the last one, holding, reaching up high, taking it all the way back through into that straddle. This time, both hands to the left pole as we're rolling it down. Good, finding our way back into our sacrum butterfly. Or hold on to the poles, taking the legs wide, bringing them towards the ground, rolling it up and taking it immediately into our I'm dizzy pose. Again, swaying from side to side if you do not feel dizzy in any way, shape, or form. Slowly rolling it up, releasing our bodies from the silk. We're gonna find that front edge. Now it might be twisted, so it's gonna take a couple times to kind of unwind it and untwist it. And then we're gonna shake it all the way out once we get there. And then we're going to do thumbs and fingers out. And just like we did in the beginning, we're going to bring it under our behinds and come to sit in it. This time, we're actually going to make it into a very, very high mini skirt, an inappropriate mini skirt. And we're going to take our hands onto opposite poles. And then we're going to pull our arms together, fists in tight towards that chest. Reaching it up and then releasing it and taking it back to center. For a quick breather, again we're going to cross our poles, and then we're going to try to bring our fists towards our armpits. Releasing it, coming back to center, and then one more time, grabbing opposite poles at shoulder height, and then pulling them in towards the chest, and then releasing it. And let's take a nice passive child's pose, rolling the wrists and flicking the fingers if that feels nice to you. Good, resituating our silk if you need to. Good, and then we're going to come back up, grabbing opposite poles again. This time we're going to bring our fists into our chest as we cross them across the body, and then we're going to lift our chest up and then release it down. We're going to do this 2 more times. Really think about engaging that core, lifting that chest up nice and high, fists in nice and tight to that chest. And one more time, grabbing opposite poles and then pulling them up and towards the body, lifting everything up and then releasing it down and taking that passive child's pose. Flicking the fingers, rolling the wrists, whatever feels good for you here. Give those arms and hands a quick breather. Again, we're going to grab opposite poles, pulling them in towards that body, nice and tight. We're going to lift up that chest, and this time we're trying to kick the legs up. Not all the way through, but just kick them up and then bring it back to center. We're going to do that a couple more times. Again, taking it into that nice passive child's pose, doing any wrist stretches or rolls or finger flicks as need be for your body. And then we're going to grab opposite poles again, and this time we're going to kick all the way through. And if you need to, use those poles to help push you all the way through. And you want it to catch on those hips. And then just let your body hang. And take a breath here, and then we're going to flip it back over. We're going to do that a couple more times so that you get used to this whole flipping over sensation. So again, make sure that your silk's on like a nice tight mini skirt. Grab opposite poles with opposite arms at the shoulders. Pull it in towards the chest. Nice big breath in, and as you exhale, kick those legs all the way through. And then just relax there for a moment. And then again, release it all the way down. We're going to do it one more time. So again, grab opposite poles. Pull them in tight towards the chest. Lifting that chest high and kicking it all the way through. And this time, let's hang out there for a little bit. So really make sure that it's on the hips nice and comfortable, and then try to reach for those toes. Let the upper body just hang, taking in this beautiful inversion. And if you want, maybe you can soar like Superman, making sure that it stays nice on those hips. See if you can bring hands to the heart if you feel stable enough. And if you're feeling super sassy, holding on to that silk, try to bring the back of your feet to touch those poles. Or you can just hang out, holding on to the feet or the ankles. Just enjoying all of the inversion, and then let's flip it back over, holding on to those poles. Coming into our nice child's pose. Letting the chest sink towards the thighs. And then slowly roll up, grabbing that back edge. We're going to bring our heels back inside that silk, bringing the legs all the way into the silk again like we did in the beginning. And this time you want to make sure that the silk covers it up all the way to the knees. Then we're going to bring our silk behind our shoulders all the way up to the neck, but leaving the head out. We're going to grab it from our thumbs in, and then we're going to roll that silk over our arms so that our arms and shoulders are much protected here. It's very important. Make sure your shoulders are completely covered. Those arms are tucked in. You take a nice big breath in. You're going to kick your legs up towards the ceiling, keeping that core engaged. You can press onto the inner so that you can hold on securely, and then you can actually remove your arms, bring the hands to the heart. Only if you feel comfortable. Really press onto those inner poles to help keep you stable. And then again, we're going to slowly start to hinge from those hips as we start to roll all the way back down. Making sure our shoulders are covered, the silk's all the way up to our knees. Readjusting anything, make sure that your thumbs are in and the silk rolls over those hands so everything's nice and protected. Again, kick those legs straight up above the head. This time, keeping that spine straight, we're going to hinge from those hips coming into our plow pose, letting that silk hold your ankles and feet. Again, keeping that core engaged. Try to keep that spine nice and lifted, extended. Good, and then roll it all the way back up, readjusting if need be. Again, taking that silk all the way up to the knees. Again, we're going to kick our legs all the way up, coming back into our plow pose. And this time we're going to move from our plow, lifting our chest, coming all the way into our plank, fully supported by that silk, keeping our core engaged. Don't let the belly drop down here. And let's tuck it all the way back into that silk. Readjusting. Now it's super crucial here for you to have the silk above the knees. For this next part, we're going to kick it all the way through, coming to sit on our knees with our behind, and then lifting our chest up all the way into our baby bat. And then we're going to bring our palms together, sitting back, and then we're going to come all the way back into that silk. And now you can take the back edge of that silk and cover your head so that you are completely covered by that silk. You can bring your arms above your head, hands to chest, a hand to the heart, a hand to the belly, whatever works best for you. But let's just completely surrender to our silk now. Now in your mind's eye, I want you to imagine that you're in a forest with tall trees and lush grass all around you. And you're going to walk deeper into this forest. And ahead of you, you see a box and a key on a fallen tree trunk. You're going to walk over to this box and you're going to open it. And you replace any fear, any pain, any anxiety, any tension, anything negative that you are holding on to, you're going to place in this box. And with that key, you're going to lock this box. And we're going to take this key and we're going to walk deeper into the forest. And as we walk deeper, we see that it gives way to a clearing. And as we make it to the clearing, we see that the clearing makes way for a cliff. I want you to throw this key off of the cliff. And slowly turn around and walk back into the forest. And as you walk back, you notice that the box has disappeared from the tree stump. And just take a moment here and relish in this newfound lightness and peace that you have created. And now let's slowly come back to the present and wiggle the fingers and wiggle the toes. And reach your arms overhead to stretch your whole body completely. And again, you can do more of those crescent stretches or any other movements that feel good to your body. And just let movement return, let the breath return. And grabbing that back edge, slowly roll up, letting your legs come out of that silk. Bringing the hands to the heart, all 10 fingers pressing together, thumbs into the sternum, bowing the head. The light in me honors the light in you. Namaste.